What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality. Period.
Period. Period,
I'm your host,
bitch.
Pharaoh. We are joined by one of the hosts,
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Period.
Was this a successful week for my sister Kuzie? I mean,
It depends on who you ask.
her target went home.
It depends on who you ask. Ask me, I'm gonna say no.
Two of her nominees went home. So I think that's a positive. I think that's a positive.
If you don't see the title, I'm gonna tell you the title. We are going to be recapping what's happened during the episodes. We got a digital daily today, so we're gonna tell you what happened on that, and then we are gonna be rating these motherfucking players. Are the ratings gonna be high? No.
These ratings, I have no idea what I'm gonna give because this house is really all over the place. Like, I think one thing
It is.
Like, the news of the getting rid of the 24/7 live feeds, of course, it's rocked the world.
Mm-hmm.
When I mean the world, I mean the BB sweet streets.
Not the world at all.
The father was watching. And I just felt like, it sucked the life out of this season. But this cast, they're gonna keep you
interested.
They're moving.
They're gonna keep you entertained. They are.
I mean, 3 of them are leaving. It's so hot. Like, it's crazy.
So y'all, this week in Big Brother Canada 11,
Big Brother Canada,
we learned that they were not going to show us digital dailies from Tuesday on. So we only got a few of the digital dailies. We recapped that. Go watch that if you wanted to know that tea. And then we got the episodes. We got the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday episode, right? These episodes,
cinema,
bitch.
This was the
Avatar:
best
The Way of Who?
Cinematic trilogy.
Titanic, what?
Ever. Like, give them their Canadian
Marvel,
Emmy.
who? Like, I'm sorry. This was box office smash hit.
When I tell you, I was tuned in. I was
Freestyle,
tuned
actually.
in. You know what Megan say? If you don't like it, tune the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you must like it, tune the fuck in.
Talk about something y'all like. Stop talking about me. This is something I like. I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I will say, they strip us of the live feeds. They don't drop the digital dailies.
It's Stockholm a little bit. It was kind of forced a little bit.
They drop it with 90% dead information.
Mm-hmm.
They drop it at random times. It's not even daily, and it's literally in the name. But I will say, these episodes, that's the thing. I don't know, are these episodes so good because we've known nothing?
Yeah, it's psychology.
Getting this, but
psychology.
That's the thing. But is there really an improvement? Because they feel better. Like, I feel like I have to go back and watch BB Can 10 or BB Can 9.
I will say, I think it is better, but I think it's better because the cast is better.
The cast is really good. They're serving it up, and I think that honestly,
the drama is better.
And that's the thing. I will say, like, this type of drama, like this kind of cracked energy. I think it has to do with a lot of them being non-fans. Like, the way they're moving about in the house, they're not. No one is playing. In my opinion, at the best as they should be. I mean, honestly, in the upcoming weeks, I mean, from the digital daily drop we got this week, it seems like some people are leaning towards maybe finally starting to do that. But no one is necessarily, I feel like, playing the best game right now. They're all kind of in there doing whatever.
Mm-hmm. So, Kuzie was HOH. Kuzie decided to nominate Vanessa and Santina. She told a few people about this plan. She told Anika and Daniel. She told Ty. So everyone knew her target was going to be Santina. Vanessa was going to be the nominee next to her. If one of them won veto, she was going to put up Dan. Whoever goes home, goes home. Santina or Dan were initially going to be the targets from what we know. We see that when she made these plans, she also formed an alliance with the girly girls, the girly pops. So the girly pops and the shady bunch are a 6-person alliance in a way, as Kuzie wins HOH. That's the plan. We move. As things start happening, Vanessa ends up having to leave the game. Yes. When Vanessa has to leave the game, Kuzie pulls Hope aside. She's like, baby, I'm going to put you up. This your time to shine. Nigga. And he said, I will.
And then she, like, knighted him. It was such a... That interaction was so hilarious. Like, he bowed.
Mm-hmm. So, Hope took his duty.
Oh, did someone die?
Lord! Hope took his duty and went... I don't know nor care. Hope took his duty and went all the way with it because he won the fucking veto as he needed to. And when he won...
Streets are saying he didn't win the veto.
Who is Streets?
Zach is Streets.
Girl.
We're going to get into that.
We're going to get into Zach. And then we're going to clip it and we're going to post it on Twitter and at him because I want him to see. So listen. Hope wins the veto. And when he wins the veto, he is told to not use it on himself by Ty and Zach. Hope is like...
Hilariously.
Hope's like, I'm not doing that. Anyways, I will be using it on myself. And Kuzie had talked to him about that too. He was like, they finna try to play you. So Renee told him, they were like, they finna try to play you.
Like, no, he was well aware.
And he was well aware himself. So he was like, I'm using it on myself, please. It's not giving that. So we see if Hope uses the veto on himself, Zach is going up. Ty is already aware of that. Zach is already aware of that. Hope is aware of that. Renee and them is aware of that. Everybody's damn near knows. So Zach is going to be the renom. Apparently, Zach and Ty are expecting Hope to bow out of that decision to prevent Zach from being the renom. The reason
they want him to throw his game away for theirs.
And allegedly, according to Zach, the reason they are expecting this is because of the letter.
Child. A scandal. Rocks the Big Brother out of the house.
The motherfucking house. And they should have called Olivia Pope. They did not. They called Mr. Hope. So Hope in this episode,
this whole situation, like I said, edge of my seat tuned in. It's because of this. Like, I wanted to know who wrote the note.
Who wrote the note?
Wrote the note. Is it
Sam.
You? Is it you?
On the first night at bed,
Ron was putting his face in between two.
Cocktail waitress's breast.
Who wrote the note?
You don't want to walk around. If you know something, tell me. If you know something, tell me. Shout out to Jersey Shore and the cast.
No, but this note was serious. Okay.
It was bad. So there's a scene. Hope and Ty, they're in a room, and they dapping each other up or whatever. I think Hope just wanted to be there to dapping each other up. When they dap each other up, something gets slid in Ty's hand.
Which I just want to say, production, how y'all let this slide?
They're not there. They're only on duty.
But first of all, this what pisses me off because Big Brother is supposed to be watching 24/7.
They're not. That's the point of this dailies.
But that's what's pissing me the fuck off. That's the thing. If you had 24/7 live feeds, baby, we could have caught it. You could have caught that.
This is what I think, y'all.
Anyone watching that would have saw that was some weird ass shit. The way
this is what I think.
Like, he obviously slid something in his hand. Have you ever seen a drug deal?
I think they're only... See, be careful with that term because apparently girls thought it was a literal drug deal.
Girl, literally. Let me stop.
1 second, though.
Dumbass bitches.
I think that they're getting paid. I think the interns... The interns who watch the feeds, I think they're getting paid for that 2-hour period that they have to watch. And so no other period is getting watched. I don't think no one's watching them.
Button, it goes record, and they walk out.
Yep. And I think they stay, and then they stop the recording.
You know what? I guess that makes sense. So I was thinking they have 24 hours. They have someone shift through that and then pick a 2 hours that's worthwhile. You think they just send them in for a random 2 hours?
I think they're scheduled. I think they're scheduled.
Wow.
Maybe 4 hours, and that 4 hours is broken up more than we think. But either way,
yeah. So I will say I saw conversations that started
earlier and
it later.
So maybe it's a longer shift, but I still think it shifts. I don't think they're there the whole time, which is why they missed this. They also missed it getting sent in. What the fuck did y'all do?
Like, y'all wasn't checking nothing. That's the thing. This season is just, it was really doomed, I feel like, from the start. Because they came out with the live feed thing, pissed everybody off. It wasn't all stars, pissed us off even more. 3 of the cast goddamn left. This is like two
left and 1 quit. No shade.
It's bad.
No shade. So when he hands Ty the slip, he's also like, "Hey, don't forget to give me a lineup later today or next week or whatever." Now, y'all, for the people who don't know, I hate to shame.
For the white people on Twitter, no shade.
That's what I wanted to say. Not even on Twitter. Some of them are on podcasts. Some of them are in life. Listen, a line up. Some might call it edge up.
I don't have one yet.
I also don't have one. But it's something that might be more popular in the Black community. Should be more popular in other communities. Start getting them. Is when you go to the barbershop. Sometimes you don't have to go to the barbershop. You can have a brethren do it for you. You get razors and you make sure the edge/line is actually a line. And that is a term used in order to, do someone's hair. I can understand that you might not have to do that to your hair, Billy Bob.
Mm-hmm.
However, Black people do. So in this scenario, when Hope was saying that in order to distract people like you guys, no shade, from what was actually happening, which was him handing the letter to Ty. By mentioning something that had nothing to do with that handoff. Why would he mention something that had to do with the handoff if he was trying to be discreet about
Because the girls took the line me up reference and took it to mean he's, first of all, people were saying cocaine, which I thought was such a weird ass rumor. No shade to whoever started it. It just that was, what the hell is this? Like, what are we talking about here? And the fact that it was based on line me up, like I tweeted this today, it's like, people really live in totally different worlds, because I was like, he's obviously talking about his haircut and there was a distraction from the note. But
because why would you speak about, if you were let's say hypothetically it was a drug, which makes no sense. Why would he state a term associated with the drug as he's handing off the drug if he
like,
doesn't?
Y'all, be for real.
Like, I don't know.
Be for real.
That's the reasoning. What's the word? Anyways, that's not what it was. If you felt that way, I'm so sorry. Not trying to be rude, but you're a little slow.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Anyway,
and you want to, because I guess we talk about it now since Zach is kind of using that as his excuse.
Right. That's what I was going to lead to.
Because Zach, he's now out of the house after leaving the game, quitting the game because he was about to be evicted. He's using the logic outside of the house, saying that the line me up reference is being used to tie in a line me up to win the power of veto. And he's saying the only reason why Hope won that veto is because Ty and Zach threw it, because the letter, which is a letter from Hope's girlfriend before the show even started, made them feel sorry for him enough to throw it to him. So they can enact the plan of him using it on him, not using it.
So,
and I think what pisses me off is that, you know, shit like this is able to get said, and, you know, they actually can use the excuse, oh, it's edited, you don't see everything. Because the reality is we don't see everything. But
now,
that just seems far-fetched to me.
Basically, Zach is saying Hope used the letter in order to have them agree to the fact to throw the POV to allow Hope to win so that Hope could not use the veto. We don't actually know the truth. However, in my opinion, even if it is the truth, who gives a fuck? You lost.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, he's kind of saying that as a way to justify why he quit, because he felt like that was just so, oh my God. But honestly, to me, it's not justifiable.
Yeah, you're a quitter.
Yeah, you're a quitter. Which is okay, babe. You quit. It's okay.
Honestly, I'm just disappointed. It pisses me off because it just shows how fragile the male ego can be. Like, at the end of the day, he quit because he can always say he was never evicted from the Big Brother house. He can always say that he took himself out of the game. People who feel like they are at a level similar to a god or a leader, they want to be in control of their narrative. So to take control of the narrative, he quit the game. That's why now he's on Twitter ranting and replying to everyone who tweets at him because he wants to take control of the narrative. He wants this because it's inflating his head. I don't like to give people who want attention. I haven't been paying attention to most of it. Like, I get the tea, of course, go, you know, we got to recap it for y'all. But, I mean, I don't care about his explanation. I don't. I also don't. Quit. Like,
and there is no explanation that you could say.
I am not dragging him because I hate Zach. I didn't hate Zach at all. We were very much saying Kuzie should not have taken him out. Still agree with that statement. But she didn't take him out. He took himself out. But it's like, at the end of the day, you can't say anything to me to make what you did justifiable.
It doesn't. Nothing you can say.
And I'm upset
you can say
because it's like you should have played it out. You should have went home like you should have went
like a man would. But you're not a man. And that's the unfortunate thing. You're not a man. You did not take it like a man. Whether you felt like it was rigged, I don't care what you felt like. You could have sat there and took it like a man.
But I hate that that's the excuse you're trying to use. Oh, he was cheating. It was rigged, so I had to quit. Like, girl, bye.
Please. He wasn't even nominated. Please. I'm sorry.
You're losing. But that's the gag is it wasn't even said apparently that he was supposed to go home. Because from the digital daily drop that we're going to get into, people were heavily considering keeping him. So it's the fact that you jumped the gun to do this because you felt like you were leaving when you literally had a chance to stay. It's sad on your part. Play the game. Because at the end of the day, this is Big Brother Canada. You wasn't playing Big Brother US, so you wasn't going to have a necessarily fair shot. Quotations, not going to lie.
Regardless.
Big Brother Canada will screw your game in a minute. So you were going to get fucked by a twist or something at some point. So, I mean.
And you didn't. You actually just got backdoored.
You literally just got backdoored.
So Zach and Ty, Hope uses the veto on himself. Zach and Ty are press. They come in, they try to intimidate him in a way. They keep coming back and forth.
Yeah, it was real weird.
Weird as fuck. I call it intimidation. Apparently, Zach and Ty don't think they were trying. They were trying to be intimidation.
Bullying. It was definitely intimidation.
They were trying to intimidate him. They were intentionally going into the room in order to not ask him questions for an answer, however, but ask him questions to make him uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I don't genuinely think you guys wanted an answer, because when Hope tried to reply, Zach literally in the conversation was like, let me talk, because you just wanted to talk. Even Ty said a similar thing. Y'all just wanted to talk at him. You didn't actually genuinely want a reply. You didn't actually genuinely want a response. You wanted to rant about how you feel. If you felt upset about that, that's fine. You can feel upset, but don't try to say and claim that you were trying to talk to him when that was not your intention. You might not have known what your true intention was. You might have thought you wanted to talk to him, but we see it right there in that conversation. In the conversation they showed, you did not want to talk to him. You wanted to talk, period.
Which you've been doing this entire season.
Which you have been doing to everybody. And it sucks because, well, not even sucks, but with Zach specifically, it's hard for me to hear him try to defend this, saying we don't see everything, because from what we've seen, every conversation you've been in, you've talked at people and not to people. It was to the point where I was waiting for you to have a conversation with someone and not at someone, and it barely ever came. And it only came because Kuzie wasn't going to let you talk crazy to her, and Todd wasn't going to let you talk crazy to him. So Zach, unfortunately for you, you unfortunately just are a weird person. You genuinely just talk at people. You don't hear people out. You were talking at them in the game. Now, if you're different in real life, I would need to see it. But in the game, from what we saw, you're weird. You don't know how to talk to people. You are disrespectful.
This is how we've also heard other people talk about
therefore, and other people talk about you, about like literally everyone in the house felt that way about you. So when you try to defend yourself and say we don't see everything, it doesn't matter, because everyone in the house said you were that way. We've seen the conversation that you were in, and you were that way. So your defense is now null. We don't care.
So guess what, babe? We've seen enough.
You can say it. We've seen enough. You can keep saying it. That, however, no one's going to hear it. So I would actually think you should just shut up, because we're not going to hear it. We see how people perceived you in the house. People who genuinely interacted with you perceived you this way. The only one who didn't was Ty and Dan and their followers. So of course they don't.
Gag it.
So I don't know.
I mean, hey, honestly, I'm so sick of that damn excuse though. Like, I feel like it's crazy because you never see anyone who gets praised say that. Everyone who comes out with a fan base, people who love them, they never say, "Oh, it wasn't actually like that." It's always the people who are getting dragged, and you want people to feel that way because you don't want people to see the real you. At the end of the day, because Big Brother is 24/7, you're able to see how a person is when they're not around anyone else. And at the end of the day, a lot of people do fucked up shit when they're alone. So in that microcosm of the game, they think they're around their friends. They forget they have the cameras on them. They say and do things that they would do in the outside world. At the end of the day, you're acting like yourself. That is you in there. Yeah. So I'm so sick of people who basically are trying to show you who they are over the internet, who we can all agree, everything on the internet is a facade. You can control what goes on the internet. You can't control what Big Brother are
doing in the house that you're living in.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like to come out and try to say everything is edited and try and control the narrative. It's like it's never gonna work. At the end of the day, the excuse of they edit and clip things, okay, yeah, it's a television show. That's what they're gonna do. But they can't make up a personality.
They can't edit your voice and your energy into the video. We saw your voice, we saw your energy, we saw your tone.
They're not editing like it's a
what you said is if you say you're a loser, and they edit that in there, you still said you are a loser. You said those words. It might have been clipped here and there. You didn't hear them with the first.
They might put a little sound behind it to make it feel a little bit more intense, but you still said it. We can still see on the digital daily you are talking at people. Like, we see that. Like, they're taking footage that you did.
This is footages of you. And that's the thing. Even if Zach, in that conversation with Hope or in the conversation you're referencing, even if in those conversations that is not how you were being and it was completely edited and we just are stupid as hell, it doesn't matter, because there's been conversations where it was on the digital dailies. And it doesn't matter that that's clipped. we saw that full conversation, or at least a good portion of that conversation. You're being intimidating. You walked in on Kuzie and Anika. You sat down and you said, what did Rob say to y'all? They were like, oh, he didn't say. Oh, so y'all lie? Why? Don't lie as if they're your children. That's weird. Don't lie is something you say to your children. You were coming in there to intimidate them, to interrogate them in order to get them to tell you what you wanted to hear. It was strategy, allegedly. It's weird. Next. So Zach and Ty decided that because the veto was used and that Hope went against them in that manner, that they were going to use the letter that he received from his girlfriend that they know about in order to try to get him literally ejected from the house.
Information that they have known for weeks. So
yeah, at least a week. I think he said 2 weeks.
Even like John, Michael, and Rob have known this. Oh, well, this is the 3rd week, so they would too. My bad. 5 people are out, so I'm thinking we're in week 5. We're still in week 3, everybody.
Yep.
It feels like week 10, bitch.
Yep.
But so yeah, I mean, a lot of people knew about this letter.
Yeah.
He had something illegal contraband. So it's like you've known this for this long. I mean, it's very similar to. I mean, no shade, Michael, BB24, when he had to use Kyle's little racism thing against him to get him sent home. It was definitely they tried to give that. They did. It didn't work.
It did not work.
It literally was not. It was not
applicable. So what happened was Zach and Ty were talking about using this. Zach gets called to the diary room. The diary room person is like, Zach, what's tea? He tells him the tea after hesitating, and then he's like, well, I didn't say anything because I didn't think Hope was this type of person until now. So now he feels some type of way about Hope. Hope gets called to the diary room. It all gets exposed. And then Arissa comes. She calls them all to the living room and she says, look, Hope had this contraband. Hope says the tea is he found it in his sock. So I'm assuming when his girlfriend was packing, she slipped it in his sock. He got his sock after the premiere. So the premiere did happen. However, the note didn't have any information on it that exposed anyone's game. It was just like, oh, you're doing good. I love you. Something like that.
Now, why did she set him up like this? Okay.
She set him the fuck up. And I think Zach and Ty, the way Zach and Ty were trying to, and this is the issue with their, in my opinion, argument, even outside the game, Zach and Ty are trying to elude or imply that he was intentionally cheating. However, he didn't put the note in his own sock. Like he had he could have turned it in. So that part is true, but y'all could have turned it in too. So that part is also true. So the most he did was equivalent to the most that y'all did, which was not say anything about it.
But that's why now he's trying to strong arm it as he used this letter for strategy. So he used the outside world as a strategy in the game. And you like,
you didn't even snitch when they asked you. When they initially asked him, he still tried to lie about it. So it's like you didn't genuinely care about it, and you also didn't genuinely think that it was something negative because when you were asked, you did not say anything.
But like, that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, you're also sitting outside of that house because of you.
You were going home regardless.
You were nominated by one of your closest allies because she didn't like you. You could have stayed, and you took yourself out of the game because you thought you were going home. Because you were allegedly
him and Ty threw the veto because of the note. That's on y'all. That was y'all's decision. You shouldn't throw the veto over it. It doesn't matter whether this note was inside the house or outside the house. That's like you saying, oh, Hope brought me this apple from the kitchen, and he said, because of this apple, man, I think I'll just go home. So just throw the veto to me, and you did it. That's stupid. It doesn't matter what the reason was for you to throw it. You throwing it is on you. You're a dumbass. That's even though the letter came from outside the house, the letter could have came from inside. That he could have wrote on a piece of toilet paper. It doesn't matter. It's like you're using it as an excuse, and you're trying to push this narrative that is so unfair. But honestly, it's really just not. Hope could have said, honestly, y'all, I want to quit. So just throw the veto. If you did it, you'd be stupid. That's basically what you're saying. He said, and you're saying the reason you believed him was because of the note. That's on you, baby.
Dumb.
Sorry. I don't think he should have had the note. I do think that is unfair. However, it's still on you, baby. I'm not throwing the veto just because he showed me a note from his girlfriend. I don't give a fuck.
I just hate how it's like this after the fact explanation. It's such bullshit. It's in my opinion, it's 100% bullshit. That is not the reason. Because also too, if I recall from the shit that we did get to see, that the conversation with Ty, there's literally a conversation with Zach and Ty, and they're talking about how we can't try to win veto and use it on Santina because we'll be in danger with them if we do that. We have to keep the sides fighting. We cannot choose the side. He had that conversation with Ty. So now all of a sudden you didn't want to win veto because of Hope? No, you didn't want to win veto because you didn't want to do anything to mess with the nominations and get yourself in trouble. Y'all had that conversation. And Ty was like, oh, I feel like I should still play and win for Santina. So
And it's like, why would you throw? If you thought you were getting backdoored, why? No matter what the reason, would you throw the veto? It doesn't matter that he has this note from who cares? How does that just? I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand his point. But hey, we move. So that's what happened. They tried to use it against him. They got tossed to the drive room. This all blew up. Arissa came on the thing. She was like, "Look, Hope, we do take shit seriously. You're not going to be allowed to play in the next HOH, and you don't have a vote this week." Pause. No shade to the past players, but they were like, there should be consequences. When I cheated, Emma said, no shade. But Emma was like, when I cheated, I didn't get to have my HOH. But I was confused as to why he said that, because Hope literally cannot play HOH. So is that not the same thing?
It's like, I feel like it's like similar.
Very similar. So he had a consequence for it. But my thing is, once again, his consequence was for something that he did not bring the note in. The note was placed in his sock and given to him, and they have awareness of that because he was in the house after it got sent in. So of course he didn't put it in.
And also, there's no information on the note that is relevant to the game. So it's
exactly.
Just like,
so I think that the punishment, in my opinion, was.
I think it's fair.
He cannot play HOH.
If anything, he could have been the third nominee. Like I would have gave it that.
That too. I was thinking that too. But he probably still wouldn't went home because Zach quit. But hey, we move. So that's what happened. After that happened.
But another big thing too, because I want to get into the big blow up fight when Kuzie called out Zach. Yes. She ate his ass.
How could I forget?
Because Kuzie was basically just like, why are you calling it out now? Why is it relevant now? How is it cheating? Basically. And he was like, crickets. Didn't have anything to say. She was like, why is it relevant information now? And he was like,
why didn't you, if you cared about it, why didn't you bring it up when it happened?
And Anika jumped in. She was like, no, because
it's not your place to judge. It's not your
cheating.
And it's not your place to judge. If it was cheating, it's not Zach's place to decide that. And that's what Anika was saying. That is the producers, babe. You should have told. Exactly. If you felt like it was cheating, snitch, king.
And it's like, period. Anika and Kuzie, that duo is so nasty. I love them because Anika saw Kuzie in it, and she said, "Let me tag me in it."
And Daniel saw Kuzie in it, and he said, "Stop."
Oh, no. Daniel, baby, I'm still rooting for Daniel. The girls is dragging. The girls is dragging.
The girls.
I'm supporting Daniel. I'm still here for Daniel. I'm still on the Daniel train. But baby, you embarrassed me this week, baby. You embarrassed me this week. It's bad for you, sister.
I can't do it. I'm sorry, but we move. Boom. Ate him the fuck up. And she ate Ty up earlier, but that was weird. Ty is weird in many ways.
No, because also that's what we skipped over too. He tried to buck up at Kuzie.
Girl, she's sitting down. And he was also sitting down at first.
Yes.
And basically, they were talking about the situation, and Ty was like, well, he's cheating. And Kuzie was like, how is that cheating? That's not cheating, Ty. And he was like, that is cheating. And she was like, how is it cheating, though? What did he... You're acting like he had an advantage because of it. And you're acting like he used it as a way to get an advantage in the game. And he really couldn't. And Ty was like, but that is an advantage, and that is cheating. I see their point. I do see Ty and Zach's point. It is cheating
it's a
in
reach.
a way.
But
it's a big reach, one. And two, y'all been new.
Yeah.
Why was it cricket?
And she mentioned like intimidating Hope, and he was like, "I'm not intimidating while standing up."
Yeah, that's what they're literally walking. I'm not intimidating Hope, nigga. What?
Shirtless, muscle out, like girl.
And then when they were intimidating Hope, literally both of them busted in the room like they was gonna jump him or something.
Like
came in the room. What was that you said?
Right, like I literally thought I was having Colin and Xavier flashbacks, y'all. I was. It was
like it's crazy. It's crazy because Ty and Zach don't know that they were intimidated. They genuinely do not know that they were intimidated.
I don't think they realize just their presence can give intimidation. Like Ty literally walks around that house like they're all beneath him. Like you can see it on the screen.
It does. You can see it through the screen, which is crazy. But anyways, boom. Then Arissa comes on. She says, "Look, he can't pay HOH. He can't vote, and to even the playing field, everyone gets a letter." And it's like,
and I thought that was cute.
And honestly, I was like, "That's true, isn't it? Like that does kind of even the playing field." No,
it definitely does.
In my opinion, it does. I see how they're like, "Oh, he had it for longer than us," but it's like you could have snitched longer than this.
Yeah.
If you would have snitched it in, y'all would have got y'all letters when
If you know something, tell me. If you know something, tell me. If you know something, tell me.
He also can't play HOH. He also cannot vote. So I don't see the issue. But anyway, Zach and Ty did not like this. They did not feel like this was okay.
Mind you, they didn't even read the goddamn letter. They was just like,
no, they didn't give a fuck. They're giving us a letter because he had a letter. That doesn't make sense.
What is this? They were mad.
What do you mean? It kind of does make sense. But anyways,
because they really thought he was going to get expelled.
They thought he was going to go home. They thought he was getting expelled. They thought that was the justifiable
That was their
reason.
intention, to get this man expelled from the game.
This is the thing. The reason he would get expelled is for knowing about the letter and not saying anything. Y'all also knew about the letter and did not say anything. So if anything, all three of you niggas should have got expelled.
Which I would have been fine with.
Like, I understand it came in Hope's pack, but that was not Hope who put it in his pack. So the only thing wrong he did was know it and not say anything, which you did too, Zach. So if he was getting expelled, and Ty, if he was getting expelled, y'all did the same crime. So technically, by y'all technotronics, y'all should have got expelled too. Y'all knew and didn't say anything.
Clock it.
Like, I don't know what y'all are saying. But anyways, they were pressed. They felt like that was not enough. They felt like, I guess all three of them should be expelled because that would be the reason. And they were proud. They were mad that they were not. So instead of being expelled, they were like, we're quitting. So
mind you, you could tell from Ty's face that he did not want to.
It was not giving to it. Zach was like, all right, we got to walk out. We said it. We said we would walk out. We got to walk out. And Ty was like,
let me go read my letter again real quick. Let me go read my letter again.
So they go to the diary room. Zach and Ty are sitting there.
Looking like dumbass.
Looking like dummies.
Stupid.
Oh, well, first, Zach does make a pitch to the Girly Pops. And he's like, Girly Pops, this is who I trust. Y'all, Dan, Ty, they kind of have a vague it seems like the Shanaya and Claudia, specifically. Dan and Ty, it seemed like they all kind of agreed that they all wanted to work with each other in a way and that they would all vote with each other or whatever. But it didn't happen because Zach quit anyways. So Zach and Ty are in the diary room. Well, Claudia went to Zach and told him she's not voting to keep him. So I'm assuming that's why.
Because he was basically like, let me know now or I'm leaving. And she was like, I mean, I'd be down to keep you, but I don't like this. I don't like the way we're going about.
You're basically threatening me because you're intimidating. You're basically threatening me because you're an intimidating person and saying that either you tell me now or I'm quitting me and Ty.
Nigga, bye.
But anyway, him and Ty went into the diary room and Zach ends up literally removing himself.
I would have told him, yes, I'm keeping him in there still pulling his ass.
Damn. Now that would have been a gag. Zach leaves. Ty decides not to because he's a weak ass nigga.
Girl, he gonna read that letter. Claudia, come hug her man.
Girl, please. So Ty goes back in the house. Zach is gone officially. So we find out the week is canceled. We're moving on to the next week. Next week is going to be Invisible HOH, and this is when we get the digital daily of the Invisible HOHT, and we do not know who the HOH is.
We do not know nothing.
So when we start the daily, we get a conversation with Jonathan and Hope. Jonathan is kind of like heavily, in my opinion, implying that he's HOH, and Hope is good. He's basically like, Hope, you're good, you know. Mm-hmm. You're probably good, don't you think?
And then he also mentions like he knows for a fact like their enemies, quotations, don't have it. Yeah. So, you know, we can assume he's referring to Ty, and, you know, I'm assuming maybe Dan.
Ty, maybe Dan. So Jonathan is heavily implying he knows who has it or he has it. Mm-hmm. But later on, we see him kind of speculate with Hope about who might have it. And it could just be him hiding the fact that he does have it. And Hope's like, girl, I think you have it. And he's like, I don't have it, I swear. And it's like,
let's pray it's Jonathan.
Jonathan might have HOH. I hope it's him. If it's not Jonathan, people speculate it's Santina. There was conversation with Santina and Ty. Oh, Santina, it seemed like she was lying badly, which is why people think it's her. Because Ty was like, do you have it? And Santina was like, girl, I can't even do 2 + 2. Like, I don't know. The HOH was so hard for me. Like, I just suck at comps. And, oh, God, I'm just so stupid. And it's like, girl, what? So it might be Santina. Santina and Jonathan are cool in a way. So I'm like, maybe Jonathan would know if Santina had it. So maybe it's Santina.
I felt like that was far-fetched. I'm like, if anything, she would tell Ty. Like, the fact that she didn't tell Ty, I guess. She seemed like, even though she didn't dislike Zach, she felt like she still had a connection with Ty. So I do feel like she would tell him, but who knows?
I don't think it's Santina. I'm hoping I'm hoping / leaning towards Jonathan having it. We also get conversations between Claudia and Daniel. So in this conversation, we kind of hear an inkling that Claudia and Daniel are working together kind of with the Girly Pops. Like Daniel's kind of with the Girly Pops. We get a confirmation later because Claudia and Renee talk. And in their conversation, they basically mention it again. You know, they're like, there's a side. And the side that they talk about is Anika, Hope, Kuzie, Jonathan. Now, this side was also mentioned in a combo with Claudia and Ty at the beginning of the Digital Daily. when Claudia and Ty talked, they mentioned this side. Ty agreed that this was kind of a side, and they were kind of hoping that side didn't have the HOH, which makes me think Ty doesn't have it. Ty seems very, very worried. Claudia seemed semi-worried, and then we kind of get a confirmation that Claudia and Renee and Shanaya might not have it.
And Shanaya also says Dan doesn't have it, but who knows if Dan would tell Shanaya?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully he doesn't. So
that would mean Ty, Dan, and none of the girly pops got it, which is sounds good to me.
It's good to me. I feel most confident about the girly pops because Claudia and Renee's talk, they were clearly telling each other all of their game. So I don't see why they would just not tell each other they had it. They're very.
The three girly pops would know. So the fact that they haven't said it plus Ty, I don't think none of them.
I don't think them or Ty have it. So
I think it's
Kuzie can't play and Hope can't play.
Dan or Santina have it.
Yeah, the options are Dan, Santina, Jonathan, Daniel, Anika. That's it. We didn't see any combo with Anika. Daniel had a combo, but he could have lied to Claudia. And Jonathan, it seemed like he was lying to Hope. We don't know about Dan. We don't know about Santina.
Hopefully it's Anika. That would be nasty. I would love
Anika,
that.
Jonathan, I guess Dan.
Anika or Jonathan. I'd have it Anika or Jonathan.
But in this combo with Claudia and Renee, we find out Claudia prefers to go towards the end with Dan and Ty rather than Anika, Kuzie, Jonathan, or Hope.
And then, so it's interesting because it's like, when did they start grouping them together? Because, from when we left off, we knew it was the girly pops and the shady bunch coming together. And that's why we were saying we do not like this move for Kuzie to go after Zach, because it puts the girly pops in a prime position to now play the middle, which is the position that Kuzie and them had. So now Kuzie decimated their position and has put the girly pops in the best position, and they're realizing it. So now Claudia, who seems the main one pushing this, is really trying to unite with Ty and Dan. But it seems like Renee isn't fully with that. She seems like she still wants to go after Dan. But also, which I find really interesting, is that they're considering Hope, Jonathan, Kuzie, and Anika as a 4 on the other side, but they think Daniel is with them. Like, they even talk about, like, of course, the core is the girly pops and Daniel. Daniel ate that up. Low key, but also I think that's the big blind spot for them, because I don't think Daniel's loyal to them like that,
and I don't know.
I just think he's shown to be a player that can see two sides of a situation. So at the end of the day, he knows he's in the middle of two sides.
That's true.
So it's like any information he gets, that's not going to be necessarily loyal to you guys, especially because the information that we had from him previously is he don't trust him like that. And we know he has a follow through with Anika that I don't see would break at this point. I can see his relationship being damaged with Kuzie.
Yeah.
But I don't think Anika, because Anika has been playing the middle between Kuzie and Daniel really well. So I can definitely see that still being there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a solidified 4 that Anika may know about it, but you never really know.
That's true. That's true.
But that's what's interesting. So they want to be this side.
Claudia wants it to be a side.
Claudia wants
and
it to
probably
be a side.
Shania too, a little bit.
Probably Shania, because Dan is her man. But it doesn't seem like any of them got power. Because if they wanted this to be a side, and we saw them talk about it with Zach, if Dan would tell them, I feel like Dan would have told them.
I
agree. So the fact that none of them know,
I don't think Ty, Dan, or the girly pops.
No, it could be Santina.
Could be Santina, and they want Santina out bad. They talked about, even though they don't trust that group of 4, they kind of agree in a way. Claudia and Renee. And Claudia and Renee were not agreeing, by the way. Renee was like, it's given we're voting out Dan. And Claudia was like, it's given we're working with Dan and Ty. And Renee was like, okay, so Dan will go next. And Claudia was like, Dan's not going. And
who do you think? I guess like, let's say the bias side of me is like, oh, they're going against my faves. I hate it. But it's like, do you think this is definitely the best strategy for them to kind of solidify with that alliance of Dan, Ty, and the girly pops?
I don't think
definitely not for Renee. I don't think
they should go to the end with them. I think the 3 of them should still want to go to the end with specifically Dan and Anika. I think the 3 girly pops should want the final 4. Well, they do want the final 4 to be Daniel. They said they want Daniel in the final 4. I think that's smart. I think what's smartest is for Claudia, Ty at 5. For Shanaya, Dan at 5. For Renee, Hope at 5. If they want to be equal as all of them, Anika at 5. I don't know if they want to be equal, and they probably don't. So it just depends. But I do think 4 being Daniel is good for them in a way. But making an alliance with them, Ty and Dan, that's good because now they have an alliance with Ty and Dan and an alliance with the Shady Bunch, which means, in my opinion, if they do that, Santina has to go. And then Hope has to go because Hope's not in that other alliance.
But see, and that's where it gets interesting because one, like I said, if they don't have any power, they have no control this week. They have no control this week. So if they have no control this week, it's going to be really interesting because that side can't solidify, and that's where the problem comes in at. Because if they do, then they could actually, it'll probably get out that Dan may have it tied. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they can actually solidify this. But if someone like Jonathan or Anika, someone on the side has it, it'll be good. But my fear is that. Do Hope, Jonathan, Anika, Kuzie know they're aside? Like, do they know there are 4 being grouped together?
Exactly.
But, I mean, it seems like Hope and Jonathan are aware that Ty is an enemy, and they know that Ty is linked with Claudia.
And they don't
Hope
like
and Jonathan had a conversation
was talking shit about Claudia. Yeah, they were like, her bouncing back with him is weird down. I don't like that at all. Yeah. And hopefully we see the noms in this Claudia and Ty. And it's like,
yeah. So yeah, it's like I think whoever solidifies first or who has that understanding, it's like they put them on top. I think Claudia and them have an advantage because they know who they want to work with, but it's like clearly they haven't started making them steps because they don't know who's the one in power.
Exactly. All right. Anything else you want to say?
No, girl, let's talk about the ratings. Everything else can be said in the ratings.
Let's get into these motherfucking ratings.
I mean, it was so much to update because we saw nothing.
We didn't know nothing. So, y'all, here's the motherfucking ratings. We will be rating these motherfucking players. Let's just hop right into motherfucking it. Let's start with Vanessa. Vanessa has walked from the game, personal reasons. What would you rate Vanessa as an overall player from what we did get to see?
Vanessa just was never able to really find her footing in the house. I do think I'm going to leave it at a 3 overall. During her time in the house, she just didn't really be able to make any connections. She wasn't in any alliances and somehow still a target. Yep. She spent her last days calling chaos, stirring the pot, and she thought she was having fun. So, it is what it is.
That on that. I'm going to leave it at a 2.5. No comment. Next is Zach. So, Zach, I thought was... Last week, I gave him a 5. I felt like he was an average-esque player. I still think as a player, he has decent tendencies because he is very active. However, I have to now assume that every time he were to play, he will be likely to quit. Mm-hmm. And with that new assumption, I'm bringing him down bad because you're not even a decent player. You're an active player and you're sloppy and not really that good at it, but being active is good in its own. But you're not likable and you will likely quit. So it's like, even if you were able to get the votes for being active, we would never know because you would probably quit. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I'm going to have to give him a 3. Mm-hmm. Honestly. That's generous. What do you think?
Generous king. I mean, honestly, I think, I think it's a 3 as well. I mean, it's just like, it's sad because if he wasn't like literally
a quitter,
yeah, he probably could still be in the game, literally still in the game, because the way Claudia was talking, she was damn near going to do it until he threatened her. Yeah. But it's just like, also, if he was just a better people person. I mean, it's just like, clearly he doesn't know how to talk
claims to be the best at.
That's the thing. He claims to be a lot of things, and he's sitting outside of the house. So, hopefully this is the last time we talk about Zach. Because I won't be caring about anything he said after this.
Period. Let's get to the people actually in the game.
Period.
People who didn't quit. No shade to Vanessa didn't quit.
Vanessa and them all left. Zach is a quitter.
Period. Anika.
Nick, love her.
Damn, these ratings are so hard. I don't know if it's because we don't have live feeds, but I'm just thinking like, what the fuck am I going to give her? Lee, what you think about Anika? I don't know.
I mean, I just think the developments we do know from Anika is just that she never really had the connection with the girly pops is that she needed to. We saw the girls' lines come together this week, but it was more so out of convenience and need for getting Zach out. It's very clear that people like Claudia, people like Shanaya, they never were really interested in working with Anika or seemed like Kuzie that much, to be honest. They just throwing everything to the wolves now, too. And that really worries me because she doesn't have a relationship with Ty. She doesn't have a relationship with Dan. She doesn't have a relationship with Shanaya like that, Claudia like that, Anika like that. Like, who in this game does she have a relationship with other than Kuzie and Daniel, from what we know? And she has something with Hope. And she may have something with Jonathan because now they're being grouped together. I don't think Jonathan would touch her. but it's just like she's just not socially in a good position. I do think after Kuzie making the big move, she's kind of the face of their side, of their duo. So if she's on the block, she's probably next to Kuzie at this point. And I do feel like Kuzie would go.
I don't even know about that. I could see Kuzie going, but I could see Anika
herself
still
out of it. But the argument to get Kuzie out is strong because she's mother, and they know she's mother.
This wouldn't be like this every rating, y'all.
At the end of the day, I stand by the facts of Kuzie making the decision to directly target Zach weakens the power structure of the Shady Bunches, and we're seeing that play out live. Zach quit, so the effect still happened. Vanessa left a buffer in front of them that would have been targeted over her. It's a 4.
It's a 4. I agree with the 4. I gave Anika a 4 last round. I think the reason I'm not going lower, even though I think her position is lower, is because people have now left. 2 people left last week. And because of that, she's way deeper in the game than, honestly, I even think she thought she was going to make, honestly. And it's caused her to have a higher chance of making it farther. There's less people in the game. People like Santina is a target for a lot of people. People like Ty is now a big target for a lot of people. These are things that necessarily weren't there at first. I think if the right person's HOH, Ty could go home this week, which is someone who would probably put Anika on the block. With Ty out of the house, it weakens that other alliance. So it depends on HOH. I don't know who it is, but it's a chance Ty can go home. It's also a chance Santina can go home, which are 2 people that are targeting her. I think majority of people in this house would target either Santina or Ty. Yeah. It would have to be either Santina or Ty as HOH for anyone else to be targeted, in my opinion. And that's honestly just very not likely. It could be Santina. In that case, she's in trouble. But we don't know that yet. And if she is in trouble because of that, I'll give her that on the next rating. Right now, I'll give her a 4. I think her and the Shady Bunch still have a chance to pick up some pieces. They still have Jonathan and Hope on their side. Like you said, I don't think Daniel's just going to be with the girly pops. And I think the likely next people out will be a mixture of Santina, Dan, and Ty, who are the people they need to worry about the most. Because people like Renee are looking at Dan. And all of the girly pops are looking at Santina. So it's like these people who would be bad for them could just go home, honestly. Yeah. So we'll see. Next is Claudia. Claude. Now, Claudia is also an active player, in my opinion. But I don't think, and I've said this before, which is interesting. I don't think Claudia is capable. I don't think she's active enough. She's active in her own regard. She's active in the sense that she's going to talk to Ty. And she's going to have a conversation with Renee. But is she active in the sense that she's going to be able to convince someone to do something or create an alliance or get a group of people together? She wants this group of people to be together. Will she execute it? Can she execute it? Will it happen? I still am not confident that she can, or it'll actually happen. And that's what makes me feel still not as high on Claudia as other people might be, because I haven't seen it yet. I need her to prove to me that she can actually do that, because she's talking about it. And even when she's talking about it to Renee, it's like, Renee's like, so Dan's going home. And Claudia, she's like, she doesn't stand on it strong enough. She doesn't seem as low-key, what Zach said. She doesn't seem that confident about her stances. And she's in a position to be the most confident right now. And she's still not doing it. From the conversations we've seen, she's been a little coy with Renee. She's even been a little coy with Ty, saying I don't know. It's like, what did you really think? So I'm just not fully confident in that regard. But she's in probably the best position in the house. She has Ty on one side. She has the girly pops. She has the Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch has Daniel. Shanaya, who is her closest ally, has Dan. Renee has Hope, who is her other closest ally. She's in alliance with everybody in the damn game, except for Santina. She even has a great connection with Jonathan. Well, not great no more. Yeah. She has a connection with Jonathan. Well, not even anymore. That's out. So she has a connection with a lot of people in the game, but Jonathan and Hope don't like her that much, I will say. But she's no one's well, they did mention. See, that's the thing. It's not that good for her. It's not that good like that. Honestly, and we don't know who's HOH. We don't know nothing about this week. But but I think she just has the capabilities to be in a good position. She wants to increase her position by convincing the girly pops to keep Ty and Dan. I don't know that she can, but she wants to. So I'm gonna give her a 6.5, and we'll see what she can do. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been giving her sixes. I think I'm definitely I think I'm gonna stay at the six for now. Only because I think that she's definitely out of the girls. I think she's definitely in one of the better positions. I think her proximity to Ty can get her in trouble if she continues to be a scene around him. Because girl, the digital daily opening, girl, they was just colored up real cozy, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna spend way more time together because Ty doesn't have Zach to run around with anymore, so he's just gonna be with Claudia all day, and that's not gonna be good for her game because she's gonna lose out on connections. That's why Shanaya is walking around here with no connections because apparently she's running behind Dan all day, and it's like Claudia does not need that. That's why she's losing out on a piece like Jonathan, who could have been a good piece for her. But like you're right, I think she's well protected, and I think whoever is HOH, she's not gonna necessarily go up. I think Shanaya will go, Renee could go, Dan, Ty. A lot of people are targeting in front of her, and no one's directly looking at her. And she's aware of her position. She knows she's in the middle. Her and Renee, the way they were speaking, like they are very aware of their core group and the people they want to go to the end with. And I think, even if whether or not she can make the group happen or not, enough people in the group, like they kind of have to come together out of necessity a little bit, it seems like. So it's like, that's why I said if one of them were HOH, it would be happening. It would be I need to get this. I really feel like it would just be happening because they target the people on the other side, and that's just kind of how it goes, But because all of this unsurety, they're not able to do that. And I think if they aren't able to do that, she could lose this middle position. She really could, but
quick too.
So she will have to get on that. But I think for now it is a 6 because I don't know where she goes from here. But like I said, if it's solidified, and let's say like one of these people on the quotations other side, like a Hope or Jonathan goes, it's like okay.
How do you feel about Daniel?
I think Daniel is definitely in one of the best positions of the game right now because somehow, the Shady Dutch have been exposed and they're being grouped with Hope and Jonathan, and he's not seen as a part of it at all. People like Ty knows he's close with Kuzie. I mean, they were grouping him with Kuzie and Anika the week before, and now they're not. Like, the girly pops literally see them as a fourth to him. So I don't know what work he's been putting in with them, but it is working heavily, and that is really, really good because that means no matter what, whatever thing they have going on in this position that they're working, they're going to include Daniel in it. And the fact that Daniel also have those connections with the Shady Bunch and Hope and Jonathan, I don't think he has much of Jonathan, but of course he's probably protected through his other connections. It's like he's done really well. I just think Daniel, he doesn't have any direct pieces that are doing much for him in the game. Like, he is kind of in that Kevin position of BB Canton, but Josh and Helena, Kuzie and Anika are not Josh and Helena. Like, he's not running them. He's not moving those pieces, those pawns. He's also not moving either of the sides. He has no control of the girly pops.
At all.
And he has no control of Hope or Jonathan. So it's like, you're safe, but at this point, for how long? However, he is safe, and from the knowledge that we've seen before, he's capable of knowing there are sides. Keep him stay in the middle. Like, you know what I mean? So I trust that he'll be able to think like that, but it's just, will he have the agency to be able to make certain moves that he want to make? So at the end of the day, if he just keeps right in the middle, either Kuzie and Anika's going to have power, or the girly pop's going to have power, or Jonathan may have power. It's never going to be him. And it's like, when is it going to be him? And I think for him, honestly, he cannot afford to let a shot get taken at Anika, Kuzie, Hope, or Jonathan because there's no side damn near after that. Like, like you're fucked. So it'll be really interesting to see how this is gonna go. I think Kevin, one of the good things that helped him out is that he was actively doing things to keep two active sides against each other. Like, I feel like that was the best playing the middle we've seen, other than of course like a June song. And I don't know if Daniel has that capacity to do that, to move pieces in the right way to stay in this middle. Because it's like he's in it, but not necessarily because of the things that I feel like he's fully done. Is more so out of, situation. But he has worked to build those relationships. So, I say it's a 6 for him too.
Yeah, I agree with the 6, honestly. I feel like I agree with everything you said. I'm not confident in Daniel's capabilities as a strategist. I don't necessarily know if he is capable of ever picking pieces up. You know, it's kind of like a point where you need to pick the pieces up, and these need to be your pieces, and these need to be your players. And he, for the entirety of this game, has not had pieces or players. I don't even consider Anika ever being his player, his piece. It always felt Anika was either his equal or just Kuzie's piece. And it's like Daniel's someone who I feel like has not had the ability to have people on their side. We heard very vaguely Renee mention Hope is now Kuzie's in a way. She said Kuzie has Hope. She said it real quick in her conversation with Claudia. And it like reminded me that Kuzie is capable of making people her pieces. Mm-hmm. And because when she said that, it made me feel like Hope is now a Kuzie piece. Anika has always been a Kuzie piece. I felt like Daniel was a Kuzie piece.
Jonathan kind of a Kuzie piece.
Jonathan might be a Kuzie piece. Daniel doesn't have that. He might not play that way. But if you don't have a person who's your piece, I don't feel fully comfortable with you. He's in a really good position. He's placed himself very well. I think he's socially very great. I think he's encouraged his position. He's caused his position to be this good. But there's a point in the game where you need people. And Daniel does not have people. If Daniel gets on the block, he can go home because no one gives a fuck about. No one really cares about Daniel.
But I think that's a safe spot. That's why I think he's going to be like. I think he's definitely safe because if he is on the block, one, I don't think he's going on the block. Point blank period. I don't think he's getting nominated.
Period.
But I think if he is nominated, he's going home. That's why I think that's what the position he's in right now.
Yeah.
He's done something to piss people off to make them want to send him home. I don't think there's a way he ends up on the block if he's not.
Other than that, yeah, it could be a situational thing. I think it could be we were targeting Kuzie and Anika. Somehow one of them's not on the block. Boom, a Bel Air direct. Boom, a veto.
But that's the thing. I think if he's next to Daniel and Anika, if he's next to Anika Kuzie, I think he stays.
He stays
because he has those other connections.
I think he can too. It could be a thing where it's Daniel and Anika, and they're like, "We finna evict Anika." No shade. Like people think Daniel's a threat, whether he wants to be seen as that or not. Even if he's not even if he's not that great of a player, people do perceive him as a good player. We've seen Ty and Zach mention it. We've seen people mention it here and there, like Daniel's someone we could. So it's like we'll see. But I just want him to be able to pick up pieces. I'm not sure he can. But honestly, you're right. I don't think he's in a bad position. I don't think he'll be nominated. But if he does, if the game moves, if there's 2 weeks from now, there's no longer a Kuzie and Anika, or if it's 2 weeks from now and Jonathan and Hope are out, I don't know that he'll have changed the fact that he doesn't have pieces. That he'll have changed the fact that he doesn't have really anywhere to go. He's like kind of an attachment to everyone's thing. He's not in anyone's thing. He's not even in the four that they're saying of Hope, Jonathan, Kuzie, and Anika. They're not even saying his name, but he's attached to it. He's not in the girly pops, but he's attached to it. And it's like being attached can only go so far. But boom. Next is Dan.
I have literally no idea with Dan.
He is in the game. There's that. He has a connection to Shanaya and Claudia. He has connection to Ty. I think if a shot is taken at that side, Ty, I guess, would be taken first. But even Renee is saying Dan needs to go next. I don't think anyone but Renee thinks Dan needs to go next, though. Now that I'm thinking, I think Jonathan, Hope, Kuzie, and Anika all want Ty gone. I even think Daniel wants Ty gone. I think Claudia, Shanaya, and them want Jonathan or Hope gone. So I think the only person who wants Dan out is Renee. Mm-hmm. And what the fuck is Renee gonna do? No shade. So in a way, that's good.
Well, she's a secret HOH.
She could be the secret HOH. So in a way, that's good but that's the thing. Who could she put up against him who he will go home again? I don't think he will go home. If it's Dan and Santina, I think Santina's going home. If it's Dan and Ty, I think Ty's going home. Even if it's Dan and she put up Jonathan, Jonathan's going home. So honestly, I don't think Dan's in trouble like that right now. I think he might stay against anyone if he's nom, unless it's a girly pop. I don't think he'll be nom next to girly pop. So that's good. But I only think that lasts this one specific round. I think after this week, you're gone, babe. Or not gone, but you're in way more danger. So that's not good. He's not that active of a player at all. Mm-hmm. He wanted this side to be a thing. He didn't create the side. It's still not created. There's a lot of talk about it, but he hasn't created it. He has good connections with literally just Shanaya and by proxy Claudia and Ty, which is more than he had in the past, which I gave him a 3 for. So I'll give him a 4 because I think that if that group of people get momentum in any way, it can increase his position. And I think it's a potential that group of people get momentum. Even if Ty goes this week, if one of the girly pops or him win the next HOH, that's momentum. And that could happen. It's only 10 people left. Yeah. Y'all are 5. So, hey, I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah, I think my issue with Dan is just that
what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, like he's so out of touch with the game. He seems so out of touch with reality. Sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. Like he's just there with Shanaya. Like it's Love Island Canada. It really is. It really is. And I think that he has a huge target on his back that he's never going to be able to manage the threat level of because I don't even think he realizes it's there fully. He doesn't have too many connections in the game, and I do think anytime a shot is taken, he will get nominated, which means he could be in danger to go home. Yeah. And even if he stays with Shanaya, Renee, and them, they want to cut him to be at the end together. So it's like he's always going to be on the chopping block for a potential nominee or target. So I just think that's a problem, and that's not really going away. I do see situations, especially if that group gets momentum, like you said, where so many things are happening, so many shots are being taken, that Dan just bloops into the top 5. He wins the double, and now he's in top 3, and somehow he's in top 2. Yeah. I could see that, but does he win? Does he have the ability to articulate a game that can be impressed about?
And I don't know, because that diary room was a little bit articulate.
It was. He was able to explain, but it's still about the general relationships you build.
And perception.
And you're not perceived. Any relationship.
You're not perceived well.
He's not perceived as a good player. Like, he's not talking to nobody. So at the end of the day, why vote him? Especially if he's next to anyone sitting here. I think everyone here is socially, miles ahead of him. Even Anika.
Maybe not Santina.
Maybe not Santina. And I was reaching with Anika. I ain't even gonna lie. But
and honestly, if he's there with like Shanaya, maybe they will vote Dan. Fuck this Shanaya do.
And that's the gag.
No shade.
That's the gag. I was just hope that's not the scenario. That would be terrible. But I think that's my issue with Dan. But like I said, it is good. Like you said, it is good that he's now in the group. It could get a momentum. I ain't going to a 4. I'm gonna give him another 3.5.
Period.
Because I think at this point, even if he is able to, if he gets the final 2, it's not because he turns it on and it's somehow a 7 or 8. He got there
out of 4 or out of 3.5.
And if he wins, he'll be
a 3.5. Which is okay. Some people just can't get higher.
Some people are just bad winners.
How do you feel about Hope Young, man?
Now, Hope, I've been telling you bitches that Hope can win this game.
And I still don't see it.
Now I don't see it.
But that was a good. That first episode today.
The way the house was set up. Even if let's say like it wasn't this big dramatic situation. Zach quick, he just got backdoor simply. He went home. Whoop. I do think because one of the main reasons why the Girly Pops and the Shady Bunch aren't connecting as that solidified 6 is because apparently Kuzie got wind of the Girly Pops wavering, and that has now caused tension, which is another reason why Kuzie and Anika are now being grouped with the other side. They're like, well, it's kind of weird because I guess that group started, but they didn't fully solidify. And I guess because no vote, they couldn't do that, and they were being weird about it. So it's like now it's at a point to where, it's not the two sides are they're not two full sides. Like he's now being grouped with a side that's only 3 other people, and that's not good for him. Where at first it felt like he was being protected by this guy's structure. The girls weren't going to touch him. The Shady Bunch wasn't going to touch him. Now the guys and the Girly Pops are together without you, and that was a problem. And but I still think Hope socially is one of the best in the game. Like he has Renee, and I think that's really good for him. But with Claudia recognizing this position and him being automatically grouped on that side, it would take a lot of work for him to build out of that. But seeing what he was saying in the episodes about, playing up that he wants to go home and basically playing Zach and Ty, some people don't believe it, but I don't believe it 100%. But I always did feel like Hope was just slightly more aware of the situation and had a social ability that can take him to the win. I think at this point it's looking bad for him, but he's not fully out. Like even in the daily, he mentioned things like, "Oh, maybe I should go talk to Ty and work it out." Like I think Hope is in a position to where if he went to go talk to the right people, he could remain safe. It's just now that he's being grouped with a side, like I keep mentioning, it's really bad for him. But I'll say it's a 5.
Oh.
I think it's bad. I think it's bad because of like the situation. And now his name is out there. I don't think his name was out there as seen as someone that people needed to target, and now I think he is. And I don't know, similar to a Dan, if he'll be able to manage that threat level. But I know once he starts speaking to people, I think he will be able to. And I think if he can get past this week, he can rebound. So it's a 5 for now.
Yeah, I've never been that high on Hope. I'm a little bit lower on Hope. I feel scared for his game because I feel like if I was Claudia or Shanaya and I wanted to take a shot at that group, Hope is going home.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if Dan wins HOH and I'm Claudia and Shanaya, Hope is going home. I feel like Hope will be the first one targeted of that group if I was them, because Kuzie is a big threat, but who can win the comps? The competition that Kuzie won, please, no shade. And she even said that to Shanaya, and that's the thing. Kuzie's playing that up, which is a positive. Kuzie's conversation with Shanaya in the Digital Daily, she was like, she was being really coy, and they were just having a general game conversation, and Kuzie slipped in. And honestly, I can't win no competition anyway. The comp I won was so, lucky. And it's like she's slipping that shit in. And I think it's gonna help her. It's gonna help her because right now, Claudia and Shanaya, we don't think the girly pops have HOH. If they get it and they're like, okay, what do we do? I do not think they're gonna actually fully take a shot at Kuzie or Anika, especially if they want Daniel as 4. How's Daniel gonna feel? We also have a pretend alliance with them. We don't have a pretend alliance with Jonathan and Hope. So I think they're going to take out Jonathan, and Jonathan and Hope are men. They can win the comps. So if they want to take someone out, if it was me, it would be Hope. So that's why I'm like, ooh, I don't think he's in a good position if the next HOH goes to even Dan, Shanaya, Claudia. Renee's not touching him, which is good. He has a good relationship with the people in his group. He has a great relationship with Jonathan, a great relationship with Kuzie, a good relationship with Anika. He has a good relationship with Daniel. So that's good. And he has an attachment to the girly pops through Renee. But Renee, I don't believe, has the true power in that alliance. I think it's Claudia and Shanaya. And I think Renee's there. When they said who they trust, Claudia said Shanaya, Shanaya said Claudia. Mm-hmm. So that connection isn't helping him that much. I'm going to give him a 4. And we'll see. Jonathan, I don't feel good about Jonathan. Last time I gave Jonathan a 5.5. I think I'm going to go lower because Jonathan, he is losing his relationship with Claudia, which was something that was really, really good. They haven't talked in a while. I don't see them having a good relationship. I don't think Claudia gives a fuck about him. I think she'll nominate him, honestly. And he will nominate her, as he said. It's, I think he's HOH, but we don't know. If he is HOH, great, but we don't know. People like Ty want that nigga out. Mm-hmm. When Ty says a name, it's Jonathan, which is good for Kuzie. It's Jonathan, and it's Hope. Ty mentions Jonathan. That's another person who went HOH might take out Hope. Baby, you're not safe. So I think for Jonathan, it's kind of bad. The positive I feel is, honestly, I might feel worse about him than Hope because he don't have that connection. Like he had. My positive was gonna be that he has Claudia, but I don't know how she feels about him for real.
But she still she mentioned like she doesn't want to actively work against him. So I can see like if she were to if she's the one wielding the power, I can see her. Well, not Jonathan.
Oh. Okay, and that's what I was. That's what I was thinking. Know. That's what I was thinking in general. So I don't know. But other than that, Jonathan doesn't have people. He has Hope. He loosely is with the Kuzie Anika group, but not as strong as Hope is. So if you're nommed, who's they saving? So honestly, for Jonathan, because I feel like he's a little closer to Claudia in Claudia's mind, and I think Claudia has a little more power. I will give him a 4 also. I'm going to give him a 4 also. Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to give him a 4.5 because I still have a hint that he might be HOH with these. Yeah. I'm going to give 4.5 because of that.
We'll I think with Jonathan, the better position for him right now would be to play the middle, but he doesn't want to be in the middle. Like he is actively against Ty, and he wants people to know. So that's why it's really easy for them to be grouping him with a side that's not even really there. In the conversations with Hope today in the Digital Daily, he was talking about not trusting Shanaya, not liking Claudia like that. He don't like Ty. You can assume he don't like Dan. So it's like, he got his people. And it's like, we rocking with Mark because Mark is rocking with us.
Period.
So I fuck with Jonathan on that level.
And he has a relationship with Santina, which is good. I'm so sorry.
He does have a relationship.
I forgot about that. That's a good relationship. This is a good connect with for him.
I think Jonathan is someone. The current state of the house is not good for him. If the current status quo stays that he's with these people, I think that's a chance that he can stay over those people. honestly, just socially alone, I think there's a chance he can stay over in being nominated as to any one of them, Hope, Anika, Kuzie. But it's just that, like, how far is that going to get him? Like I said, with this current structure, he need things to switch up where they can stay in power so he can stay there longer. Because the longer they stay in, like, if it flips and Kuzie, Anika, Hope, and Jonathan are like, they went the next situation type shit, or they just can maintain power for like the next 2 or 3 weeks, then, it shifts a little bit because now the two sides are going to be, more even, attacking
well, the
each
other side wouldn't have existed. That happened. They're all gone if that happens. But if it's like 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah, like 2. Yeah.
Because even
like 2
this
weeks
week,
from now.
Because even if one of them have it this week, it's kind of like you're good, low key.
Yeah.
Because just taking out one of them, you're kind of good. Y'all are in majority a little bit now. Mm-hmm. It's way more.
And I think that helps Jonathan out a lot more because I can see it being like, Jonathan, he's not like a Zach. He's not like a Ty. I don't think people are going to look at him as like, we have to get him out because he's the big bad wolf type shit. I think people are going to be like, well, I want to work with Jonathan. Like, I can see Claudia being like, well, if she's still there, like, oh, Jonathan, like, let's rekindle that. You know what I mean? A lot of people just genuinely like Jonathan and want to work with him. So I think he's someone that can really rebound from his situation. But it's really sticky right now. So I'm going to keep it at a 5. Well, I'm bring it down to a 5.
Mm-hmm. Next is Kuzie Kuzie. How do you feel about Kuzie?
So I love Kuzie. I love her so much. I just do not think this week. The Zach move is not the move. I stand by it. I hate Zach like everyone else. Still think he's as bad as some of the people we've had, aka the Kyles. But he's a pretty terrible person, nonetheless. But this was not the move. But even she admitted this was personal. This is a personal move for her morality. Morality and personal moves, girl, it's not always the best of the world. It's not. It's just point blank period. It's not. It's like when Turner backdoored Kyle and BB24. That was a morality move, but that was not the best move for Turner at all. That's why he wanted him to stay low key. But and in this situation, it didn't. It wasn't as severe as full out racism. So I feel like she could have just been like, look, someone else can get him, because the way she was set up, with the different factions keeping Zach, it kept the guys faction, it kept the girls, it kept the shady bunch, and she stayed in the middle. By putting up Zach, she ruins her relationship with Ty. Zach is now out of the game, and Ty is doing exactly what we speculated could potentially happen. He's working with those girls. Dan is now included. They are bringing Daniel in all of a sudden out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And she has lost the good position she's in. People are now talking about Ty and Dan staying longer than her. It's just like, it's bad for Kuzie. It is really bad. And I hope everyone on Twitter that was praising this goddamn move. I will say on eviction that Thursday, look, you may see some tweets about me praising it. I ain't gonna lie. Because Thursday was a movie, bitch. We was all there for it. But at the end of the day, this was just not the best move for her game. It tactically fucked all 3 of them up, and Dale has somehow got scot-free.
Because he knew he was the one who knew it was gonna fuck him up the most. He was ready.
And that's the T. So honestly, I think Kuzie, let's do some positives, because I'm not gonna just trash my girl, bitch. She's a great social player. She's proven to be that. I think that she is someone that can rebound. And like Farrell mentioned, Kuzie is a player that is capable of getting pieces. I think that it's very clear or very apparent that, Hope, Anika, Jonathan, these are people that if they are in power, they're keeping her safe. She's good. She's going to have a lot of say in those connections. And if they are to win these next week or 2, I think Kuzie goes right back in the position that she was in. She becomes the player that a lot of people are going to want to work with because they feel like she can give them safety. So, I don't know. I was like, it was such a bad move.
I know what I'm going to
do. It was such a bad move because it's like, I wouldn't have been low on that score. I was coming in here. I was not going to give her a 7 for this week. I was not going to give her a 7.
Period.
I was going to give her a 6 or a 6.5.
Okay.
Based on the fact that she had at least solidified with the girly pops. But from the digital dailies, them girls ain't loyal, which I knew they wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't be. So for that, I gotta give her a 5. I was gonna give her a 5.5, but it got to be a 5.
No. I was coming in with a 5.
It would be capped.
I was coming in with a 5 too. Kuzie, this is what I will say. If you were going to take out Zach, you should have saved Rob. I'll say it again. If you were going to take out Zach the next week, You should have saved.
But that's the thing. She didn't know she was gonna be HOH. You don't know
matter.
those things.
It don't matter. Since you evicted Rob, you should not have took out Zach. How about I take it that way? Since you evicted Rob, you should not have taken out Zach.
And we're not saying she should have took out Vanessa. We're not saying it should have been Renee. It should have been Santina.
I didn't say that at all. I hope no one would
just girl, you know bitches get stupid in the comments.
Girl, I don't care about dumb bitches. Okay, because this is my thing. Since if Rob was here, hypothetically, Renee would not be. That's already down for the girly pops, and Rob would be with you, Jonathan, Hope. That was Rob's closest people in the house. If that was the case, you, Jonathan, Hope, and Rob would be in a big ass alliance. And yes, there's still 3 of those niggas, men. But if anyone else gets an HOH, they're the ones going home, not you, who it might be now.
And if they win, it will be Rob.
And Rob would have had Santina. Ty has Santina now. Rob would have had Santina on lock. Another good piece for you. It's like, which Rob would have had a lot of power, I will say. But you would be in between Claudia, Shanaya, and maybe even Ty at that point, because Rob's still here.
Mm-hmm.
And this other side. You would be in the middle. You and the Shady Bunch would be in the middle of the house if that was the case. That did not happen. You evicted Rob and you took out Zach. Why did you do that? Kuzie, why did you do that? It's a 5. It's a 5. The position she's in now is not good. I don't think anyone is targeting her still. I cannot look at anyone here and say they are targeting her because even Ty wants Jonathan and Hope out. I think the girly pops will
she got buffers.
Or Hope out. Yeah, barely, bitch. Because if Jonathan and Hope can't go, you're out. So be careful. If Santina wins HOH, I think she might take her out. That's the one person. And Santina could be the HOH. And it's like, if you're nominated against Anika, why would we save you?
Yeah.
If you're nominated against Daniel, why would we save you?
Yeah.
So you're in an icky position. I think Kuzie
can talk her way out of it. To go immediately.
Now, I do think Kuzie has a good connection with some of the girly pops. I think Renee likes Kuzie a lot. I think Shanaya likes Kuzie.
I wonder if she can rebuild that relationship with Santina, because realistically, Santina, girl, who are you working with? The girls don't like you, Santina.
Yeah,
Santina,
because I think
don't like her.
My thought was, is Santina going more with Ty or more with Jonathan? Because I think Ty got that ass, but Ty has been up Claudia's pussy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
him with them girls. So
that's what I'm saying. Because Santina likes any man. I think no shade.
Oh my god.
No shade. I think Jonathan being a man can really help her, because Jonathan working on Santina, she could just be like, I mean, I kind of like Jonathan a little more because Ty's talking to Claudia all the time. I don't have time to talk to him anyways. So she could favor Jonathan's side of things, which could help Kuzie. But if she does not, it does not help Kuzie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 5. I think she can get out of this. I think if the right person has HOH, she can be even better next week. But right now, I'm scared.
It's bad.
Next is Renee. Is it Nene? Riri? Ray? Girl. Ray. That doesn't make sense. Her name is okay. Renee. I guess it does. Whatever.
Boutte.
Renee, I think I like her. I'm not sure how I feel about her game wise. She clearly has an idea. She has hope. That's a strong ass connection. She ate that up. She has the girly pops in a way. The girly pops want to do things with these other people, so that's protecting her in a way. I think she has a good relationship with Kuzie and Daniel, which is really good for her. So I think Renee's in a good position. However, I don't think what Renee wants can happen at this point. Renee, in a way, has pieces because I think she does have hope, kind of, as a piece. But hope is a piece for everybody. Not everybody, but Kuzie and Jonathan also. So, baby, you barely got it. And other than that, the girly pops are closer to each other than they are to you. They have relationships with Dan and Ty, and you don't even like them. You want to get out Dan, and Claudia and Shanaya are literally besties with Dan. So it's like you're not even thinking on the same page as the people you're working with. She might need to find her a better group. I think Renee would fit in way better with Kuzie and them.
But I do think it's possible. Like if she keeps that connection with Hope and she does not want to work with Ty and Dan, it's very possible they start winning. They start nominating them. And Blue, well, let me find my people over here.
Let me find my people.
Oh, it gives very much. You remember the Ball Smashers? Who watched Big Brother Over the Top? The Ball Smashers with who was the country girl? Whitney. Flipped on them for justice.
She said, well,
that'll be Renee with Hope. She said, look, they keep me safe, babes.
I'm sorry, babes.
That was hilarious.
So, I don't know.
He said, look, I don't know about y'all.
Right.
But these niggas keep me safe. Exactly that. She said, these niggas is keeping me safe.
I feel good about Renee, but I don't feel good about her game, like her capabilities as a player. So I'll give her a 5, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, I'm really like most improved. Like I think she went from being a professional pawn. Like I don't think she's gonna be pawn anymore because, well, honestly, for the simple fact that she gets seen now as there's no reason to take out Renee or there's no point to split up Renee, which sucks for her game because when it comes to strategy, she understands the game way better than some of the people here. Like she deserves way more credit on that one. She's speaking about, I think, like moving forward in the game, she has the correct reads on it. But like you said, what she wants, it's least likely to happen. It's in the same situation as Daniel. You know, she's more so the add-on in all of these situations. It would be best to jump ship, but how does that look? You know, it's just like, so it's really, I think she's really, really in a tough spot because if she goes with the Shady Bunch at the bottom with them, she's always going to be at the bottom of Shanaya and Claudia, it seems like. And it's like, also, it's the perception factor for her as well. Is she going to be able to garner that respect in the game? I mean, there's a lot of game left. I know 3 people have walked, so it don't seem like it, but there's still a lot of game left. So I think that she can still build up her legacy. I think that, you know, if she can keep this narrative of you don't need to target me, you don't need to put me up, she can stay, and that will be better for her to be able to build that. So, you know, we don't know, we're not solidified that group is starting or that side has power. So I'm gonna keep it at a 5, but I can definitely see it going higher in the future.
Period. How do you feel about Santina? She just is so. She is the epitome of wild card. That is crazy. Since week 1, who is this girl? How do you feel about Santina? Who I still stand a little bit.
Yeah, Sam. Let me say a little bit. She get on my nerves.
You know what Santina gives? Santina gives like next week or something. Renee win HOH. She's finna take Santina out. Santina win veto. That's what she gives. She just gives the week she's actually finna go home. Boom, she won.
It gives Santina the secret HOH. That's what's pissing me off. Because I feel like she could be a secret HOH. And it's just like, why her? Santina, I don't know. Santina is like very similar in the position of Anika. It's just like there's not a lot of people in this game that are feeling her like that. But unlike Anika, I think there are certain people who feel like they can use her for certain things. I think Ty feels that. I can see how Jonathan may feel that. I can see how potentially if Kuzie can,
work that back up,
reiterate that relationship, they could, she's someone that people feel like she can be used. However, if the girls get that way, then she could be out soon, and that's a problem because she has people actively targeting her. They were out over shit. I mean, damn to all of them, and I
hoping them.
She's not even a bigger threat to them. I don't really think necessarily, but I think it's the fact that she is that wild card. People don't know if they can trust her, so they just want her out of the game. And I mean, even if she is HOH this week, it's like she makes this big power move potentially, and then she's right back in the same position. Yeah. She hasn't shown that she's able to build anything for herself, even when she has power.
Even
she
friends
kind of goes to other people or listens to other people's advice, and it's just, I don't know. Santina is very random. For some reason, I can still see her winning the game. Like she's just that lone wolf that you can just see burst into the game on her own. That's what it just seems like. But at this point, she got no allies. She has nothing.
No friends.
Not even a group. The people are discussing groups. Santina's name isn't brought up at all.
She's the only one not in it.
I don't know if that's a positive or it's even more of a negative because they're thinking, she's already out of the house. Like she's gone.
Yeah. She's being discontinued as a player. So, you're nothing.
It's definitely a 4.
Okay.
Because I think even if she's on the block this week, it's not a guarantee that she goes home.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, she's so disconnected that the argument can always be made. She has nobody.
Yeah.
And if she keeps going without winning competitions, and it becomes, she only won the first comp, and that was because of John McElroy, is she really a threat? Things like that. So, and I think because she's such a wild card, she has the ability to still hop around.
Yeah. And
she can bounce back a little bit, but for now, no.
I see that. I'm going to give her a 3.5 because I just feel like she's never going to be able to pick up anything. I think she will always be in a bad position for the rest of the game. Since week 1 to week 13, I think she's going to be in a terrible position. So if she wins, it's going to be phenomenal, but so with that, we moving on to Shanaya. Now, y'all, I have a unpopular opinion about Shanaya. I think there's no evidence. I think Shanaya is kind of a good player. I'm sorry.
What? There's usually negative evidence.
I think there's no evidence, actually negative evidence, but I don't think Shanaya is as unaware as she walks around seeming. because when she does have game conversations with the ones I see, like the one this episode is with Kuzie, and I don't know I don't even know what she thinks about Kuzie, but that's a part of the reason why I think I like the way she's playing the game. No one knows what Shanaya is really thinking, even her allies.
Is she thinking anything?
But that's the thing. I think she is. But we don't have any proof. I think she genuinely is thinking things, but she's really good at having no one know what she's actually thinking. Now that it has no evidence.
Oh, baby. Oh,
that has no evidence.
Is your back okay?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm reaching. When I tell you I'm reaching outside of this window, and that's
Pharaoh,
okay. I'm happy to do it. 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 And I don't think it's this time. I don't think it's this time.
I don't think it's this time. I mean, you can say the same thing about, Alyssa and BB24, a most recent example. Or JC Land. Like, I think she knows more than what she knows.
Yeah, and I didn't say it about them because I didn't want to. I want to reach for Shanaya, and that's what I'm going to do. I think Shanaya is a random strategic mastermind, and we don't know it.
Oh God.
I think she's in a very good position. She has Dan on lock. She has Claudia on lock. Socially, I genuinely think she is in a good position because in the girly pops, she's the one that Claudia likes the most. No shade. And she also is the one who has Dan. Mm-hmm. So she does have, in a way, Shanaya has a piece. She has Dan. So there's that. I think she's in good with this little Claudia group that's trying to be formed or whatever. I think she is okay with Kuzie and Anika. I see her talk to them more than Claudia, and honestly, more than Renee. I see her talk to Kuzie and Dale. So that is a positive for me. I feel like she's okay with them, but I don't think a lot of people necessarily care about her enough to protect her other than maybe Claudia and Dan. Mm. And I guess Renee. So she only has a few people. She doesn't have these like extended Hope or a Jonathan the way Claudia and Renee does. And that's what makes me feel iffy. But I just feel like less people want her gone than they would maybe Renee, maybe even Claudia, because Jonathan and Hope had a conversation about her. So in a way, I feel like Shanaya is in a better position than Claudia and Renee. And in a way, I feel like she's not, because I feel like Hope and Jonathan are targeting Claudia in a way. I feel like people are targeting Renee. I don't feel like anyone is targeting Shanaya. I don't think anyone wants Shanaya to go. I don't think Shanaya will go in a while. I think Shanaya is making the top 4, honestly. And because of that, I'm going to give her a 5.
Yeah.
It's not that good. But it's not as bad as I feel like it might seem.
No.
I don't think she's doing as bad as it might seem.
The thing is, she can't be. Kuzie's moves placed those 3 girls in the position to where they could be no lower than a 5. If they were more active players, they would be 6s and 7s, all 3 of them. You know what I mean? And I think that is my issue with Shanaya, is just that she should be at a higher level. She should have this extensive relationships with people, but she's been worried about Dan. Before that, she was worried about Rob. So all we've seen is her being boy crazy in the house. And it's like, I'm not shaming her for that, girl. Get your dick, but get your dick and play the game. I always say that. Like, why can't people get their dick and play? Like, do both. Claudia's doing it. Claudia is doing it, and I'll give Claudia that. You know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, I'm going to give her a 5 too, but at the end of the day, she's a 5, similar to why Renee's a 5 right now. It's because Kuzie made a move that put the 3 of them in a better position. So, and they're clocking that position, which is good for them. But, that's the thing. I can't say we saw Renee and Claudia in the drop, so I don't know if Shanae's thinking on the same page then. I can assume she is. But to me, every time I do see her talk game, it does just seem like she's just saying the general information that's out there. She's just saying what everyone knows.
She's hiding what she truly feels.
Girl. Anyways, it's a 5. I didn't see more from Shanaya, definitely.
She'll pick it up.
I had higher hopes for her, but that's the thing. If they get out of this middle position, which is possible, she's right back 4s and 3s and 2s because she's not in the game. Yeah. She'll
get in it. She's taking her time. She said her strategy was to lay low at the beginning. She's gonna pick it up. Watch.
This is the same person who thought Dan was gonna come in here and be.
He's probably gonna win the game.
Girl.
I'm telling you. How do you feel about what's that man named Ty?
Ty, this is the inevitable. We're here. I'm queer.
Okay.
I don't know. it's just Ty. He's in a really weird situation right now because, I mean, if this side of the girly pops plus him and Dan, I don't think they have power this week. If somehow Santina's the one that has power and she keeps them safe, or it is actually Dan and they keep them safe, I do think that he's now in the position to where he can stay safe for a couple of weeks. However, the issue is that other side gets power. He's always that option. And I think it's similar to Dan in that way, is that he's always going to be that option. And from what we have seen in the game, he doesn't have the social skills necessary to, make other connections. Like, he's basically in this alliance because Zach set it up before he left, and now his showman's is in it. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have a connection with Renee and Shanaya or Dan. He's has a connection with Claudia. He doesn't seem to be trying to rebuild or do anything with Kuzie, from what we know. If he was a good player, he would definitely be doing that. There's no reason to be beefing with Kuzie, Anika, Daniel, Hope, Jonathan.
And Jonathan.
There's no reason to be beefing with him. If he was what he should do, make amends with all of them. There's no reason for you to be on Claudia and them side. They see what's going on. You don't have to be grouped with that. I think there are ways that he can get out of this, but he's too stubborn of a person, I think, to probably do those things. I think that he's gonna stay in his ways, not talk to people, and eventually just go home because of that. I would like to see him switch it up because I think he had a lot of potential, and Zach was, in my opinion, bringing him down a little bit. Of course, some of his own ways as well. But I mean, at this point, I'm gonna say it's a 4.5.
What?
Well,
no, you said it.
No. It's at least a 4.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna give him a 3. I think he will go home within these next 2 weeks.
I think I would feel way more confident that if he wasn't being considered the main contender for this huge alliance, like he's being considered over Santina. Yeah. It seems like there's so many it's crazy, but there are people who are being targeted way more than him in this game. So it's just like
I think he's being the most targeted. He's just also being included in the group, and Santina isn't, which is why I give him a 3. I feel like he is the most targeted person in the game. He just so happened is being included in the group, which is helpful. But see, for me, it's only helpful.
Is that accurate though? Is it accurate to say?
Jonathan, Hope, Kuzie, Anika, and I can assume Daniel are all targeting Ty. I think they will all take Ty out.
But it's like he also has the people of Dan, Shanaya, Claudia.
That's fine, but he's the only person in the house with 5 people targeting him, in my opinion.
Well, Santina also has that many people targeting him. Santina has a lot more people targeting him.
And she's 3.5.
But I'm not by myself though. I'm talking about my rating. Right, my rating. It's like he's a 4, right? Like, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I put Santina at a 4. He's a 4.
I see it.
But you also put Santina at 3.5. So yeah, you're right. I just didn't go to a 3 this time.
Yeah, I just feel like he's in a bad position, and I feel like he has I feel like he has this option of this group of people, but he's not putting any of the work into it. I don't think he's talking to Shanaya and them at all. Still, and I feel like that's not good for him. When Renee is talking to Claudia, she's saying Dan can go. But I can only imagine if Renee's talking to Shanaya, she's saying Ty can go. So, sure, this drop, we only heard Renee mention Dan. But in reality, I would kind of think Renee probably just wants Ty to go. She don't like that nigga. Mm-hmm. So, I'm thinking like, Renee probably might want Ty out too. Or Ty and Dan out. I don't think she likes either of the niggas. She was talking to Claudia. So, of course, she's not going to say Ty. So, it's like, that's a lot of people who don't like you, babes. The only people who do like him is Claudia, Santina, and Dan. That's 3, so that's good. But those 3 have to be in power, and they have to be in power consistently. And they have to not be afraid to not take you out, because the social pressure of the house is going to be Ty needs to go from everyone. This is a secret HOH this week. Next week, it's not secret. If someone wins HOH outright in front of everybody, and literally a whole group of people are like, well, you're going to take out Ty, right? It's going to be, I think they're going to be scared to not even try it, or to not even pretend or something. And even pretending is kind of not good for him. And even if he's not gone, Santina, who is one of his allies, or Dan, who is one of his allies, probably will be gone. So it's like the main 3 people getting targeted is Ty and his 2 closest allies. So good luck, King. It's 3 for me. I'm put him in order.
Well, I guess we'll see. I think it's hard for me to go to bomb people's scores this season, just because
he played terribly last week though. And that's another thing. He played terribly this week. He made everybody in the house hate him.
I understand, but that's the thing. He didn't make everyone in the house hate him because people are still talking about working with him.
That's true. I think he made a lot of people in the house hate him.
If it was a situation, if he was in that's the thing. He is not, in my opinion, he's not even in Santina's position. Like I gave him before, but he's a hire for me because people are still willing to work with him. You know what I mean? If he was in Santina's full position, no one is fucking with him like that. He has probably one person that just talked to him on the slide. Then he'd be a 2 or 3. The fact that that's not the case, the fact that there's a whole side of people that could be the potential majority, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my thought process on that.
I see it. No, I see it. It's a good thought process. Period. Boom. I put them in order. This shows that the people not playing that good.
It's all over the place. That's it. I got a bunch of 5 this time because the unsurety. We don't that last week shook the house up so much. There's a secret HOH this week, so it's all over the place. We don't know we literally have no idea who's in power at all.
Yeah. And
because there are no full solidified alliances, there is no power structure. It's been random every single week, random as hell, and it's random again. I love the secret HOH twist. I really hope BBUS.
It's really cute.
BBUS. I hope y'all taking notes. I hope y'all
scary
taking
though.
notes.
Oh, that's so scary. What they did a hacker. Remember?
That was stupid as hell, and that never needed.
You said you like secret.
That just pissed me off. Me off.
I'm sorry. We have tied at the bottom with a 3.5, thanks to me. Santina Santina and Dan tied above them with 3.75s each. Anika has a 4. Hope is above her with a 4.5. Literally. Hope is above her with 4.5. Jonathan with a 4.75. And then tied for 3rd place is Renee, Shanaya.
Girl, that jump.
And they all have 5. So it's like, damn.
It's so different now. Like,
it is.
Look at the shift.
It is. And then we have Daniel C with a 6. And Claudia is number 1 for the first time this season with a 6.25. Oh, Lord. Shout out to Claude. So there we are, y'all. Real quick, let's look at these terrible ass fucking giraffes. Now, y'all. Note how no person I drafted has been evicted from the Big Brother house.
And I'll give you that.
Zach kind of has. Zach was going to get evicted, but literally Vanessa and them all quit. And it's like, damn, that sucks. Because really, I would not be down 3 people. I would only be down probably just 1, honestly. Probably just 1, honestly. But hey, I'm down 3. I'm still losing, technically, to that. I do still have the winner, which will either be Shanaya, Santina, Dan, Jonathan, or Kuzie. I think all my people can win. I said it. Hey.
Girl, Shanaya and Dan doesn't know. But Santina and
Jonathan,
Kuzie.
To you. A no to you.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if anyone of mine can win. Honestly, maybe Claudia.
I don't see Claudia being able to get the votes. I don't know. It's weird because I think she's playing good, but do other people think she's playing good?
I was confident about Hope, but not so more. I mean, we'll see.
I just really think I got the winner. I think all 5 of my people win. Okay, I don't see none of your people winning. Well, who you think can win on your side?
I just told you.
Just Claudia? Well, I think all 5 of my people can win. So I don't like you're not confident about your team.
You're delusional.
Sure. So we'll see. We don't even know who's HOH, so we'll see who's HOH. We'll see how that goes.
Looking at the whole cast, like the people who I think the most could win would be like at this point. I don't know. That's like I don't know. So never mind.
Yeah. Me neither. Child, this game, because we can't even guess who might win or who might lose and all of that. We'll see y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, though. We will be here next Friday. Next Tuesday, we'll cover the digital dailies. We'll be giving you updates. We'll be rating the layers again or whatever. So stay tuned with us or whatever. If you are not tuning in for Survivor, tune in for fucking Survivor. Stop watching Big Brother after. It's boring. It's actually not. It's eating. I'm sorry.
And
watch us for Survivor. Watch Survivor and watch us. Also watch the Challenge USA and watch us. You don't even have to
Challenge USA.
I wish it was. The Challenge World Tour, World Championship. You don't even have to watch it. Just watch us and subscribe, follow, like, share.